Welcome. Hello. Hi. Oh. Hi Nyarla. Hi Volpo. Welcome. I changed my ASMR filters on the microphone, so the audio is unfiltered basically, and you might hear more background noises, but less me hitting something. A little bit less. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of that sound. But welcome. How you doing? How was tonight? Tonight we'll be doing more reading if you're up to. I can start reading Herbert West Reanimator if you want. It's kind of a long tale, so I think it will be the only story we'll be able to read for tonight, but I think it's worth. I might actually Okay, so here's the problem. I don't know where to place my microphone and the book because I'm kind of in an uncomfy position right now because I don't know where I should place myself. Like if I stayed here and I raised again, do you still hear me well? And obviously I should be getting closer. I'll be closer. But as long as the audio is still fine, please let me know. So yes, I might read stories today. Let me close a couple of pages that I don't need. I have Steam open, for example. I was playing a game with my boyfriend before, and also I played a little bit of Overwatch. Oh, my friends are playing Overwatch without me, and they haven't invited me. Now I feel a bit sad. That's okay. I won't take offense. No offense taken. Nino, hello. Hello. Welcome. Okay, so Visif, welcome. How you doing? Okay, I think I found a comfy position to read. Let me know if you can hear my voice well, if it's too low or too high. And yeah, I'm doing good. I've had a stomach ache for like 5 hours. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Do you have medicines that you can take? Something that you can like keep on your stomach? Like, you know those water packs that you can fill with water? Like the boiling water, or the one that you can heat up yourself. And I have them at my home for when I feel like headaches and stuff, and they work for me. Kira, hello. Welcome. How are you? Just gonna sleep and hope it's better when I wake up. Yes. Well, you're in for a treat then, because tonight we'll be reading a Lovecraft story again. And it will be Herbert West Reanimator. It's 30 pages, so it's a bit long. There's like a couple of chapters, and let's begin. Let me reposition myself. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Do I have to raise the gain? Please let me know, because I keep repositioning the microphone. Of Herbert West, who was my friend in college and in afterlife, I can speak only with extreme terror. This terror is not due altogether to the sinister manner of his recent disappearance, but was engendered by the whole nature of his life work, and first gained its acute form more than 17 years ago, when we were in the third year of our course at Miskatonic University. Hello Incubus! Hello Asta! Welcome! Welcome, welcome. Yes, ASMR is the only thing I can really do these days, because I am full of work to do, so I decided to stream in the evening instead of the afternoon like I did, because in the evening I have a little bit more time, while for the rest of the day it's mostly work, and sometimes I play a couple of games with my boyfriend when he's at home, but otherwise it's just a lot of work, and I don't want to distract myself with streaming what I'm doing, you know. Better to be loaded than to have nothing. Yes, that's kind of true. I mean, I wish I had a little less work to do, but there are a lot of things that different projects, especially my exam, that's what I've been doing mostly. It's I think it's like September, the end of September, so I need to work hard to finish everything. Simmer would be better to film in the background. Nafi, I don't think so. I don't think my mom's voice would be relaxing, trust me. Okay, let me resume the book. While he was with me, the wandering closest companion. Oh no, wait, I skipped a line. While he was with me, the wonder and diabolism of his experiments fascinated me utterly, and I was his closest companion. Now that he is gone and the spell is broken, the actual fear is greater. Memories and possibilities are even ever more hideous than realities. The first horrible incident of our acquaintance was the greatest shock I've ever experienced, and it is only with reluctance that I repeat it. As I have said, it happened when we were in the medical school, where West had already made himself notorious through his wild theories of the nature of death and the possibility of overcoming it artificially. His views, which were widely ridiculed by the faculty and his fellow students, hinged on the essentially mechanistic nature of life and concerned means for operating the organic machinery of mankind by calculated chemical action after the failure of natural processes. Oh, thank you for reminding me to drink. And thank you for the follow, Lexin. Okay, let me mute. Wait. Okay. I thought I left the stream unmuted for a second. I'll stretch, thank you for reminding. Okay. In his experiments with various animating solutions, he had killed and treated immense number of rabbits, guinea pigs, cats, dogs, and monkeys, till he had become the prime nuisance of the college. Several times he had actually obtained signs of life in animals supposedly dead, in many cases violent signs, but he soon saw that the perfection of his process, if indeed possible, would necessarily involve a lifetime of research. It likewise became clear that, since the same solution never worked alike on different organic species, it would require human subjects for further and more specialized progress. It was here that he first came into conflict with the college authorities and was debarred from future experiments by no less a dignitary than the dean of the medical school himself, the learned and benevolent Dr. Alan Halsey, whose work in behalf of the stricken is recalled by every old resident of Arkham. I had always been exceptionally tolerant of West's pursuits, and we frequently discussed these theories, whose ramifications and corollaries were almost infinite, holding with Haeckel that all life is a chemical and physical process, and that the so-called soul is a myth. My friend believed that artificial reanimation of the dead can depend only on the condition of the tissues, and that unless actual decomposition has set in, a corpse fully equipped with organs may, with suitable measures, be set going again in the peculiar fashion known as life. It's a Lovecraft story. It's called Herbert West Reanimator. Yeah, we actually just started. We're at the second page, basically. Copies will check. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Yeah, no such intention. Just your local vampire queen reading you Lovecraft to put you to sleep. Hi Carlos, welcome. How you're doing? That the physics or intellectual life might be impaired by the slight deterioration of sensitive brain cells, which in a short period of death would be apt to cause, West fully realized. It had at first been his hope to find the regent which would restore vitality before the actual advent of death, and all the repeated failures on animals had shown him that the nature and artificial life motions were incompatible. He then sought extreme freshness in his specimens, injecting his solutions into the blood immediately after the extinction of life. It was this circumstance which made the professors so carelessly skeptical, for they felt that true death had not occurred in any case. They did not stop to view the matter closely and reasonably. Yeah, it's a good read. We're going through a book that I have. It's a compilation of stories. I'm reading them in the order they appear. Hanzo took it to her to write. Yes. Oh no. Hope you'll get some good rest, my girls. Oh, we just started the book. It's about a guy that does experiments on dead beings. It's Sam's. Hello. Was been too shy to write in chat, but the other day someone that I thank a lot gifted me a sub, so now it's my occasion to see the literal of his streams. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. This makes me happy. How are you? And don't worry about being shy. I usually lurk a lot to suffer from anxiety, so I know the feeling of not knowing what to write in chat and being very shy. But thank you so much for being on my streams. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, welcome. The 8K rhythm. Which was the 8K, I don't remember. But hi, Yokobus. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. No, I didn't say 30 here. I asked how are you doing and if you were resting well. Oh no, I am Volpo, trust me. It was not long after the faulty had interdicted his work that West confirmed to me his resolution to get fresh human bodies in some manner and continue secret experiments he could no longer perform openly. To hear him discussing ways and means was rather ghastly, for at the college we had never procured anatomical specimens ourselves. Whenever the morgue proved inadequate, 2 local Africans attended to this matter, and they were seldom questioned. West was then a small, slender, spectacled youth with delicate features, yellow hair, pale blue eyes, and a soft voice, and it was uncanny to hear him dwelling on the relative merits of Christchurch Cemetery and the Potter's Field. We finally decided on the Potter's Field because practically everyone in Christchurch was embalmed, a thing of course ruinous to West researches. I was by this time his active and enthralled assistant, and helped him make all his decisions, not only concerning the source of bodies, but concerning a suitable place for our loathsome work. It was I who thought of the deserted Chapman farmhouse beyond Meadow Hill, where we fitted up on the ground floor an operating room and a laboratory, each with dark curtains to conceal our midnight doings. Fresh bodies, yeah, that's not the worst thing that I have to read. You guys have no idea how many slurs I'm trying to censor here. Damn. Lovecraft really like to use the N-word for some reason, and I ain't reading that. The place was far from any road and in sight of no other house. Yet precautions were nonetheless necessary, since rumors of strange lights, started by chance nocturnal rumors, would soon bring disaster on our enterprise. It was agreed to call the whole thing a chemical laboratory if discovery should occur. Gradually, we equipped our sinister haunt of science with materials either purchased in Boston or quietly borrowed from the college. Materials carefully made, unrecognizable save to expertise, and provided spades and picks for the mining burials we should have to make in the cellar. At the college we used an incinerator, but the apparatus was too costly for our unauthorized laboratory. Bodies were always a nuisance, even as small Kenya big bodies from the slight clandestine experiments in the West Room at the boarding house. No, it's not a gamer word, it's a slur. And, well, we all know Lovecraft was kind of racist. Well, bit, bit lot resist actually. Until science said that there was no superior race, then he changed his mind. There's to say that he was a man of science. He believed in science. So when science said, actually that's not how it works, he was like, oh, okay. But yeah, reading Lovecraft out loud, you gotta be careful because sometimes the N word appears and I don't want to read it by accident because I usually skip it anyways. The background is a bit loud. Okay, let me lower it. How's this? Better? Like your beautiful modern avatar and outfit as well. And how are you doing today? Beautiful and beautiful Sunday today. Welcome, Thunder. I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. We're reading Lovecraft. How are you? Let's continue. We followed the local death notices like gulls, for our specimens demanded particular qualities. What we wanted were corpses interred soon after death and without artificial preservation, preferably free from malforming disease and certainly with all organs present. Accident victims were our best hope. Not for many weeks did we hear of anything suitable, though we talked with morgue and hospital authorities, ostensibly in the college interest, as often as we could without exciting suspicion. We found that the college had first choice in every case, so that it might be necessary to remain in Arkham during the summer, when only the limited summer school classes were held. In the end, though, luck favored us. For one day we heard of an almost ideal case in the Potter's Field. A brawny young workman drowned only the morning before in Sumner's Pond and buried at the town's expense without delay or embalming. Hello, Mitsu. Welcome. How you doing? That afternoon, we found a new grave and determined to begin work soon after midnight. It was a repulsive task that we undertook in the black small hours, even though we lacked at that time the special horror of graveyards which later experienced brought to us. We carried spades and oil dark lanterns, for although electric torches were then manufactured, they were not as satisfactory as the tungsten contrivances of today. The process of unearthing was slow and sordid. It might have been gruesomely poetical if we had been artists instead of scientists. And we were glad when our spades struck wood. When the pine box was fully uncovered, West scrambled down and removed the lid, dragging out and propping up the contents. Welcome, Sean Gunnery. How you doing? I reached down and hauled the contents out of the grave, and then both toiled hard to restore the spot to its former appearance. The affair made us rather nervous, especially the stiff form and vacant face of our first trophy, but we managed to remove all traces of our visit. When we had patted down the last shovelful of earth, we put the specimen in a canvas sack and set out for the old Chapman place beyond Meadow Hill. Thank you so much for following, RelSP21 and iBouncy. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How you doing? We're reading Lovecraft. big word. Let's just say hi. Welcome, welcome. On an improvised dissecting table in the old farmhouse, by the light of a powerful acetylene lamp, the specimen was not very spectral looking. It had been a sturdy and apparently unimaginative youth of wholesome plebeian type, large-framed, grey-eyed, and brown-haired. A sound animal without psychological subtleties, and probably having vital processes of the simplest and healthiest sort. Now, with the eyes closed, it looked more asleep than dead, though the expert test of my friend soon left no doubt on that score. Can't read tonight. We had at last what West had always longed for, a real dead man of the ideal kind, ready for the solution, as prepared according to the most careful calculation and theories for human use. The tension on our part became very great. We knew that there was scarcely chance for anything like complete success, and could not avoid hideous fears at possible grotesque results of partial animation. Especially were we apprehensive concerning the mind and impulses of the creature, since in the space following death some of the more delicate cerebral cells might well have suffered deterioration. I, myself, still held some curious notions about the traditional soul of man, and felt an awe at the secrets that might be told by one returning from the dead. I wondered what sights this placid youth might have seen in inaccessible spheres, and what he could relate it fully restored to life. But my wonder was not overwhelming, since for the most part I shared the materialism of my friend. He was calmer than I, as he forced a large quantity of his fluid into a vein on the body's arm, immediately binding the incision securely. The waiting was gruesome, but West never faltered. Every now and then he applied his stethoscope to the specimen and brought the negative results philosophically. Wait a second. Okay, sorry. I had to blow my nose. After about 3/4 of an hour without the least sign of life, I disappointedly pronounced the solution inadequate, but determined to make the most of his opportunity and try one change in the formula before disposing of his ghastly prize. We had that afternoon dug a grave in the cellar, and would have to fill it by dawn, for although we had fixed the lock on the house, we wished to shun even the remotest risk of a ghoulish discovery. Besides, the body would not be even approximately fresh the next night. So, taking the solitary acetylene lamp into the adjacent laboratory, we left our solid guest on the slab in the dark, and bent every energy to the mixing of a new solution. The weighing and measuring supervised by West with an almost fanatical care. The awful event was very sudden and wholly unexpected. I was pouring something from one test tube to another, and West was busy over the alcohol blast lamp, which had to answer for a Bunsen burner in this gasless edifice. when from the pitch-black room we had left there burst the most appalling and demoniac succession of cries that either of us had ever heard. Not more unutterable could have been the chaos of hellish sound if the pit itself had opened to release the agony of the damned. For in one inconceivable cacophony was centered all the supernatural terror and unnatural despair of an animate nature. Human it could not have been. It is not in man to make such sounds, and without a thought of our late employment or its possible discovery, both West and I leaped to the nearest window like stricken animals, overturning tubes, lamps, and retorts, and vaulting madly into the starred abyss of the rural night. I think we screamed ourselves as we stumbled frantically toward the town, though as we reached the outskirts, we put on a semblance of restraint, just enough to seem like belated revelers staggering home from a depot. We did not separate, but managed to get to West's room, where we whispered with the gas up until dawn. But then we had calmed ourselves a little with rational theories and plans for investigation so that we could sleep through the day, classes being disregarded. But an evening, 2 items in the paper, wholly unrelated, made it again impossible for us to sleep. Oh, bye, Ems. Thank you for passing by. Have a good sleep. Bye-bye. The old deserted Chapman house had inexplicably burned to an amorphous heap of ashes that we could understand because of the upset lamp. Also, an attempt had been made to disturb a new grave in the potter's field, as if by futile and spadeless clawing at the earth that we could not understand, for we had patted down the mold very carefully. And for 17 years after that, West would look frequently over his shoulder and complain of fancied footsteps behind him. Now he has disappeared. And this is the end of the first chapter. Now I'll be reading the second chapter, The Blocked Demon. I shall never forget the hideous summer 16 years ago, when like a noxious fright from the halls of Eblis, typhoid stalked luringly through Arkham. It is by that satanic scourge that must recall the year, for truly there were brooded with bat wings over the piles of coffins in the tombs of Christchurch Cemetery. Yet for me there is a greater horror in that time, a horror known to me alone now that Herbert West has disappeared. West and I were doing postgraduate work in summer classes at the medical school of Miskatonic University. And my friend got distracted. Okay, let me find. You know what I would need? I would need one of those things when you can place books, so I don't have to hold them up with my hands every time and struggle. Wes and I were doing postgraduate work in the summer classes at the medical school of Miskatonic University, and my friend had attained a wide notoriety because of his experiments leading toward the revivification of the dead. After the scientific slaughter of uncounted small animals, the freakish work had ostensibly stopped by order of our skeptical dean, Dr. Alan Hasley, though West had continued to perform certain secret tests in his stinky boarding house room, and had on one terrible and unforgettable occasion taken a human body from its grave in the potter's field to a deserted farmhouse beyond Meadow Hill. I was with him on that odious occasion, and saw him inject into the steel veins the elixir which he thought would to some extent restore life's chemical and physical processes. It had ended horribly in a delirium of fear which we gradually came to attribute to our own overwrought nerves. And West had never afterward been able to shake off a maddening sensation of being haunted and hunted. The body had not been quite fresh enough. It is obvious that to restore normal mental attributes, a body must be very fresh indeed. And the burning of the old house had prevented us from burying the thing. It would have been better if we could have known it was underground. After that experience, West had dropped his researches for some time, but as the zeal of the born scientist slowly returned, he again became importunate with the college faculty, pleading for the use of the dissecting room and of fresh human specimens for the work he regarded as so overwhelmingly important. His pleas, however, were wholly in vain, for the decision of Dr. Halsey was inflexible, and the other professors all endorsed the verdict of their leader. In the radical theory of reanimation, they saw nothing but the immature vagaries of a youthful enthusiast whose light form, yellow hair, spectacled blue eyes, and soft voice gave no hint of the supernormal, almost diabolical power of the good brain within. I can see him now as he was then, and I shiver. He grew sterner of face, but never elderly, and now Sefton's alum has had the mishap, and West has vanished. West clashed disagreeably with Dr. Halsey near the end of her last undergraduate term in a worthy dispute that did less credit to him than to the kindly dean in point of courtesy. He felt that he was needlessly and irrationally Wait. Okay. Myth Lover 420, welcome to the live stream. Hello, Matt. Okay, I was about to read a sentence, and the sentence that I had to check before, because the word that I was about to read is also used as a heavy insult. So, like, as a slur, I'd say, but in this case, it's the other meaning, so I'm good to go. He felt that he was needless and irrationally retarded in a supremely great work. A work which he could of course conduct to suit himself in later years, but which he wished to begin while still possessed of the exceptional facilities of the university. Okay, so retarded here is used in the sense of being, I wouldn't say late, like being kept from doing, basically. And I had to double check, because you never know. Didn't even know you could use that word in English, at least with that meaning, but I'm glad that I know now. Next Gen Gamer, welcome. How you doing? That the tradition-bound elders should ignore the singular results on animals and persist in their denial of the possibility of reanimation was inexpressibly disgusting and almost incomprehensible to a youth of West's logical temperament. Only greater maturity could help him understand the chronic mental limitations of the professor-doctor type, the product of generations of pathetic puritanism, kindly, conscientious, and sometimes gentle and amiable, yet always narrow, intolerant, custom-ridden, and lacking in perspective. Age has more charity for these incomplete yet highly sold characters, whose worst real vice is timidity, and who are ultimately punished by general ridicule for their intellectual sins like Ptolemaism, Calvinism, and anti-Darwinism, anti-Nietzscheism, and every sort of Sabbatarianism and sumptuary legislation. West, young despite his marvelous scientific acquirements, had scant patience with good Dr. Halsey and his erudite colleagues, and nursed an increasing resentment coupled with a desire to prove his theories to his obtuse worthies in some striking and dramatic fashion. Like most youth, he indulged in elaborate daydreams of revenge, triumph, and final magnanimous forgiveness. Can you read your eyes closed? Because I have it on my desk, and when I look down, my mother closes his eyes. Just pretend I'm reading it out of memory, okay? Finished the second chapter. And then had come the scourge, grinning a little, from the nightmare caverns of Tartarus, was and I had graduated about the time of its beginning, but had remained for additional work with full demonic fury upon the town. For additional work at the summer school, so that we were in Arkham when it broke with full demonic fury upon the town. Do not as yet licensed physicians, we now had our degrees and were pressed frantically into public service as the number of the stricken grew. The situation was almost past management, and deaths ensued too frequently for the local undertakers to fully to handle. Burials without embalming were made in rapid succession, and even the Christchurch cemetery receiving tomb was crammed with coffins of the unembalmed dead. This circumstance was not without effect on West, who thought often of the irony of the situation. So many fresh specimens, yet none for his persecuted researches. We were frightfully overworked, and the terrific mental and nervous strain made my friend brood morbidly. But West's gentle enemies were no less harassed with prostrating duties. College had all but closed, and every doctor of the medical faculty was helping to fight the typhoid plague. Dr. Halsey in particular had distinguished himself in sacrificing service, applying his extreme skill with wholehearted energy to cases which many others shunned because of danger or apparent hopelessness. Before a month was over, the fearless Dean had become a popular hero, though he seemed unconscious of his fame as he struggled to keep from collapsing with physical fatigue and nervous exhaustion. West could not withhold administration for the fortitude of his foe, but because of this was even more determined to prove to him the truth of his amazing doctrines. Taking advantage of the disorganization of both college work and municipal health regulations, he managed to get a recently deceased body smuggled into the university dissecting room one night, and in my presence injected a new modification of his solution. The thing actually opened its eyes, but only stared at the ceiling with a look of soul-petrifying horror before collapsing into a near inertness from which nothing could rouse it. West said it was not fresh enough. The hot summer air does not favor corpses. The time we were almost cooked before we incinerated the thing, and West doubted the advisability of repeating his daring measure of the college laboratory. The peak of the epidemic was reached in August. West and I were almost dead, and Dr. Halsey did die on the 14th. The students all attended the hasty funeral on the 15th and brought an impressive wreath, though the latter was quite overshadowed by the tributes sent by wealthy Arkham citizens and by the municipality itself. It was almost a public affair, for the dean had surely been a public benefactor. After the entombment, we were all somewhat depressed. I spent the afternoon at the bar of the commercial house, where West, though shaken by the death of his chief opponent, chilled the rest of us with the references to his notorious theories. Most of the students were home, or to various duties, as the evening advanced. But West persuaded me to aid him in making a night of it. Westall and Lady saw us arrive at his room about 2 in the morning, with a third man between us, and told her husband that we had all evidently dined and wined rather well. "Hello, Marsquake. Welcome. How you doing? Also, give me 1 second, so I can drink a bit of water." Okay, back. Apparently, this acidulous matron was right, for about 3 a.m. the whole house was aroused by cries coming from West's room, where when they broke down the door they found the two of us unconscious on the blood-stained carpet, beaten, scratched and mauled, and with the broken remnants of West bottles and instruments around us. Only an open window told what had become of our assailant, and many wondered how he himself had fared after a terrific leap from the second story to the lawn, which he must have made. Yeah, it's fun. Can be fun. Can be also very tiring. But I wouldn't have been streaming for more than a year if I didn't like it. It honestly depends on you and your personality more than anything else. I do enjoy streaming quite a lot, personally, but it's not for anybody. Everybody, yes. There were some strange garments in the room, but West, upon regaining consciousness, said they did not belong to the stranger, but were specimens collected for bacteriological analysis in the course of investigations of the transmission of germ diseases. He ordered them burned as soon as possible in the capacious fireplace. To the police, we both declared ignorance of our late companion's identity. He was nervously said, a congenial stranger whom we had met at some downtown bar on a certain location. We had all been rather jovial, and West and I did not wish to have our pugnacious companion hunted down. That same night saw the beginning of the second Arkham horror, the horror that to me eclipsed the blog itself. Christchurch Cemetery was the scene of a terrible killing, a watchman having been clawed to death in a manner not only too hideous for description, but raising it up as to the human agency of the night. The dawn revealed the unutterable thing. The manager of a circus at the neighboring town of Walton was questioned, but he swore that no beast had at any time escaped from its cage. Those who found the body noted a trail of blood leading to the receiving tomb. Here a small pool of red lay on the concrete just outside the gate. A fainter trail led away toward the wood, but it soon gave out. Why are so many notifications making my phone tremble? Is it? Yeah. Ah, they're all from Twitter. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Hi, Alex Jason 23. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How you doing? The next night, the devils danced on the roof of Arkham, and a natural madness howled in the wind. Through the fever dawn had crept a curse, which some said was greater than the plague, and which some whispered was the embodied demon soul of the plague itself. 8 houses were entered by nameless thing, which strewed red death in its wake. In all, 17 maimed and shapeless remnants of bodies were left behind by the voiceless, sadistic monster that crept abroad. A few persons had half seen it in the dark and said it was white and like a malformed ape or anthropomorphic fiend. It had not left behind quite all that it had attacked. For sometimes it had been hungry. The number it had killed was 14. 3 of the bodies had been in stricken homes and had not been alive. On the third night, frantic bands of searchers, led by the police, captured it in a house of Green Street near the Miskatonic campus. They had organized the questing with care, keeping in touch by means of volunteer telephone stations, and when someone in the college district had reported hearing a scratching at a shuttered window, the net was quickly spread. On account of the general alarm and precautions, there were only 2 more victims, and the capture was effected without major casualties. The thing was finally stopped by a bullet, though not a fatal one, and was rushed to the local hospital amidst universal excitement and loathing. For it had been a man. This much was clear, despite the nauseous eyes, the voiceless simianism, and the demonic savagery that dressed its wounds and carted it to the asylum at Sefton, where it beat its head against the wall of a padded cell for 16 years, until the recent mishap, when it escaped under circumstances that few like to mention. What had most disgusted the researchers of Arkham was the thing they noticed when the monster's face was cleaned, the mocking, unbelievable resemblance to a learned and self-sacrificing martyr who had been entombed but 3 days before, the late Dr. Alan Halsey, public benefactor and dean of the medical school of Miskatonic University. To the vanished Herbert West, and to me, the disgust and horror were supreme. I shudder tonight as I think of it, shudder even more than I did that morning when West muttered through his bandages, "Damn it, it wasn't quite fresh enough." And that is the end of the 2nd chapter. Hey Topaz, welcome. Le Bébé Malade, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you doing? Yeah, it's Lovecraft. We've read the first 2 chapters of Herbert West Reanimator. I love Lovecraft. Oh, horror story readings are always bedtime stories for me. Hello, Flash. Welcome. Okay, I think there are like 7 chapters. No, 6 chapters. Okay, I'll read the 3rd one. Read the 3rd chapter and then we'll talk a little bit because I want to divide the stories into parts since it's a bit long. Things are going well, thank you for asking. I'm full of work, but I'm managing. How are you? Okay, chapter 3. 6 shots by midnight. It is uncommon to fire all 6 shots of a revolver with great steadiness when one would probably be sufficient, but many things in the life of Herbert West were uncommon. It is, for instance, not often that a young physician leaving college is obliged to conceal the principles which guide his selection of a home and office. Yet that was the case with Herbert West, when he and I obtained our degrees at the medical school of Miskatonic University, and sought to relieve our poverty by setting up a general practitioners. We took great care not to say that we chose our house because it was fairly well isolated and as near as possible to the potter's field. Reticence such as this is seldom without a cause, nor indeed was ours, for our requirements were those resulting from a life work distinctly unpopular. Outwardly we were doctors only, but beneath the surface were aims of far greater and more terrible moment. For the essence of Herbert West's existence was a quest amid black and forbidden realms of the unknown, in which he hoped to uncover the secret of life and restore to perpetual animation the graveyard's cold clay. Such a quest demands strange materials, among them fresh human bodies, and in order to keep supplied with these indispensable things, one must live quietly and not far from a place of informal interment. Oh, I'm happy that your arm is healing. Nice. West and I had met in college, and I had been the only one to sympathize with his hideous experiments. Gradually, I had come to be his inseparable assistant, and now that we were out of college, we had to keep together. It was not easy to find a good opening for 2 doctors in company, but finally the influence of the university secured us a practice in Bolton, a factory town near Arkham, the seat of the college. The Bolton worsted mills are the largest in the Miskatonic Valley, and their polyglot employees are never popular as patients with the local physicians. We chose our house with the greatest care, seizing at last on a rather run-down cottage near the end of Bond Street, 5 numbers from the closest neighbor, and separated from the local potter's field by only a stretch of meadowland, bisected by a narrow neck of the rather dense forest which lies to the north. The distance was greater than we wished, but we could get no nearer our house without going on the other side of the field, wholly out of the factory district. We were not much displeased, however, since there were no people between us and their sinister source of supplies. The walk was a trifle long, but we could haul our solid specimens undisturbed. Our practice was surprisingly large from the very first, large enough to please most young doctors, and large enough to prove a bore and a burden to students whose real interest lay elsewhere. The meal hands were of somewhat turbulent inclinations, and besides their many natural needs, their frequent clashes and stabbing a phrase gave us plenty to do. But what actually absorbed our minds was the secret laboratory we had fitted up in the cellar, the laboratory with the long table under the electric lights, where in the small hours of the morning you often injected West's various solutions into the veins of the things we dragged from the potter's field. West was experimenting madly to find something which would start men's vital motions anew after they had been stopped by the thing we called death, but had encountered the most ghastly obstacles. The solution had to be differently compounded for different types. What would serve for guinea pigs would not serve for human beings, and different human specimens require large modifications. The bodies had to be exceedingly fresh, or the slight decomposition of brain tissue would render perfect reanimation impossible. Indeed, the greatest problem was to get them fresh enough. West had had horrible experiences during his secret college researches with the corpses of doubtful vintage. The results of partial or imperfect animation were much more hideous than were the total failures, and we both held fearsome recollections of such things. Ever since our first demoniac session in the deserted farmhouse on Meadow Hill in Arkham, we had felt a brooding menace, and West, though a calm, blonde, blue-eyed scientific automaton in most respects, often confessed to a shuddering sensation of stealthy pursuit. He half felt that he was followed, a psychological delusion of shaken nerves, enhanced by the undeniably disturbing fact that at least one of our reanimated specimens was still alive, a frightful carnivorous thing in a padded style Sefton. Then there was another, our first, whose exact fate we had never learned. We had fair luck with specimens in Bolton, much better than in Arkham. We had not been settled a week before we got an accident victim on the very night of burial. I made it open its eyes with an amazingly rational expression before the solution failed. It had lost an arm. If it had been a perfect body, we might have succeeded better. Between then and the next January, we secured 3 more, 1 total failure, 1 case of marked muscular motion, and 1 rather shivery thing. It rose on it of itself and uttered a sound. Then came a period when luck was poor. Intermeds fell off, and those that did occur were of specimens either too diseased or too maimed for use. We kept track of all the deaths and their circumstances with systematic care. One March night, however, we unexpectedly obtained a specimen which did not come from the potter's field. In Bolton, the prevailing spirit of Puritanism had outlawed the sport of boxing, with the usual results. Surreptitious and ill-conducted bouts among the mill workers were common, and occasionally professional talent of low grade was imported. This late winter night there had been such a match, evidently with disastrous results, since 2 timorous bulls had come to us with incoherently whispered entreaties to attend to a very secret and desperate case. We followed them up to an abandoned barn, where the remnants of a crowd of frightened foreigners were watching a silent, black form on the floor. The match had been between Kid O'Brien, lapperly and now quaking youth with the most unhibernian hooked nose, and Buck Robinson, the Harlem Smoke. The man had been knocked out, and a moment's examination showed us that he would permanently remain so. He was loathsome. It was a loathsome, gorilla-like thing with abnormally long arms, which I could not help calling 4 legs, and a face that conjured up thoughts of unspeakable secrets, and tom-tom poundings under an eerie moon. The body must have looked even worse in life, but the world holds many ugly things. Fear was upon the whole pitiful crowd, for they did not know what the law would exact of them if the affair were not hushed up, and they were grateful when West, in spite of my involuntary shudders, offered to get rid of the thing quietly, for a purpose I knew too well. There was bright moonlight over the snowless landscape, but we dressed the thing and carried it home between us through the deserted streets and meadows, as we had carried a similar thing one horrible night in Arkham. We approached the house from the field in the rear, took the specimen in the back door and down the cellar stairs, and prepared it for the usual experiment. Our fear of the police was absurdly great, though we had timed our trip to avoid the solitary patrolman of that section. The result was rarely anticlimactic. Ghastly as our prize appeared, it was wholly unresponsive to every solution we injected in its black arm. Solution prepared from experience with white specimens only. So as the hour grew dangerously near to dawn, we did as we had done with the others, dragged the thing across the meadows to the neck of the woods near the potter's field, and buried it there in the best sort of grave the frozen ground would furnish. The grave was not very deep, but fully as good as that of the previous specimen, the thing which had risen on itself and uttered a sound. In the light of our dark lanterns, we carefully covered it with leaves and dead vines, fairly certain that the police would never find it in a forest so dim and dense. The next day, I was increasingly apprehensive about the police, for a patient brought rumors of a suspected fight and death. West had still another source of worry, for he had been called in the afternoon to a case which ended very threateningly. An Italian woman had become hysterical over her missing child, a lad of 5 who had strayed off early in the morning and failed to appear for dinner, and had developed symptoms highly alarming in view of an always weak heart. It was a very foolish hysteria, for the boy had often run away before, but Italian peasants are exceedingly superstitious, and this woman seemed as much harassed by humans as by facts. Yes, fun fact. Italians were hated in the early 20s in America. We were viewed as inferior. That's very funny, by the way. I always found it funny, but fun historical fact for those that didn't know. Oh, I lost my point bit. I can't read the insults towards Italians. I'm Italian myself, you know. America's hated just about every person who's come by, but yet it's part of dark history, sadly. Yeah, actually, while reading the earlier, like the stories of Lovecraft, I'm realizing how much racism there's in these stories, which kind of ruins them for me now. Like I still like Lovecraft, but like I guess I can see the racism a little more than when I read the Italian translations, because it gets lost when you read them translated. Jaden plays 12. Thank you for following. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Like in the Italian versions, like there are certain subtle things that get lost in the translation, I think. But yeah, Lovecraft was a weird man. He had an interesting view of the world, because as long as science said something, he believed it. If scientists said that the sky was blue, then he would have believed that the sky was blue. The translators get everything right. The best translators manage to get those little references. Yeah, but it's just like sometimes the languages work differently, so it's harder. You have to like adapt, and you inevitably lose little details. Also, there's like the differences in culture, that something might be racist. Like a way of saying things might be seen as a racist in a country and not in another. So I think like context sometimes also matters. But yeah, with translations it's trickier. Oh yeah, Latin is a pain in the ass. Okay, let me resume. Okay. We were at the Italian peasants part. Okay, there it is. But about 7 o'clock in the evening she had died, and her frantic husband had made a frightful scene in his efforts to kill West, whom he wildly blamed for not saving her life. Friends had held him when he drew a stiletto, but West departed amidst his inhuman shrieks, curses, and oaths of vengeance. In his latest affliction, the fellow seemed to have forgotten his child, who was still missing as the night advanced. There was some talk of searching the woods, but most of the family's friends were busy with the dead woman and the screaming man. Altogether, the nervous strain upon West must have been tremendous. Those of the police and of the mad Italian both waited heavily. We were tired about 11, but I did not sleep well. Bolton had a surprisingly good police force for so small a town, and I could not help fearing the mess which would ensue in the affair of the night before were even tracked down. It might mean the end of all our local work, and perhaps prison for both West and me. Hail to the Dead King! Welcome to the Vampire Gang! Thank you for the follow! I did not like those rumors of a fight which were floating about. After the clock had struck 3, the moon shone in my eyes. After the clock had struck 3, the moon shone in my eyes, but I turned over without rising to pull down the shade. Then came the steady rattling and the back door. A slightly broken pogo stick. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Then came the steady rattling at the back door. I lay still and somewhat dazed, but before long heard West's rap on my door. He was clad in dressing gown and slippers, and had in his hands a revolver and an electric flashlight. From the revolver, I knew that he was thinking more of the crazed Italian than of the police. "We'd better both go," he whispered. Oh, wait, let me try to. "We'd better both go," he whispered. He wanted to not to answer it anyway. And he may be a patient. It would be like one of those fools to try the back door. So we both went down the stairs on tiptoe. with a fear partly justified and partly that which comes only from the soul of the weird small hours. The rattling continued, growing somewhat louder. When we reached the door, I cautiously unbolted it and threw it open, and as the moon streamed revealingly down on the forms silhouetted there, West did a peculiar thing, despite the heads that dreaded police investigation. Oh no, wait. Okay. Despite the obvious danger of attracting notice and bringing down our heads the dreaded police investigation, a thing which after all was mercifully averted by the relative isolation of our cottage, my Fred suddenly, excitedly, and unnecessarily emptied all 6 chambers of his revolver into the nocturnal visitor. For that visitor was neither Italian nor policeman. Looming hideously against the spectral moon was a gigantic, misshapen thing not to be imagined save in nightmares. A glassy-eyed, ink-black apparition, nearly on all fours, covered with bits of mold, leaves, and vines, foul with caked blood, and having between its glistening teeth a snow-white, terrible, cylindrical object terminating in a tiny hand. That is the end of the 3rd chapter, and we'll be ending the reading here. Because God knows how hard it's getting for me to read without eating my words. Almost there for okay, bad guys. Nice. I heard that all documents in the Vatican are Latin, but very few priests can speak it, only read and write. Yeah, Latin is a dead language. Nobody speaks it anymore, basically. You'd have to be super lucky to find someone that speaks Latin. A lot of people hate it, by the way. Love listening to your story, reading Hans. Thank you, Volpo. I'm doing my best. I had to translate Harry Potter from Latin for my class. It was hard. Yeah, I can actually imagine that. I thankfully went to a school where I didn't have to translate anything. Like, I didn't have to study Latin, which I'm glad for, because I think I would have hated it. But if you go to like some schools, you gotta learn it. It's not the best. All my homies hate the Latin. Basically, I don't think I've met anybody that enjoyed Latin. I sure don't, because I've seen my friends trying to learn Latin for translations, and it's just not fun. It's not fun at all. I'm happy that you guys like story time so much, by the way. I really am. I like reading. Oh, by the way, wait, let me search it. Let me search for it actually. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I am not used to reading out loud, so every time I do that, I end up being out of breath after So basically, it's because I'm not used to it, and it messes up my breathing pattern, and I feel out of breath. Oh, I have to blow my nose. 1 second. Okay, some water ASMR for you. Like to see aliens get through a house with burglar bars on every window and a security gate in front of the door. I mean, they could just use their UFO to make your house explode. Maybe. I don't know if that's possible. But it could be. We'll never know. I have to drink. Water. You guys should stay hydrated. I hope that you're drinking enough water, you know. As an American, I can relate to them dumping 6 rounds into the nocturnal visitor part. Oh, are you a vampire too? It's still liquid. As long as you stay hydrated, doesn't matter what you drink, doesn't it? Oh, I have to message a girl to get an appointment to get my nails done. It will be my first time ever getting my nails done professionally. I'm very excited. So, you know, at this point, if you've been here for a while, that I suffer from anxiety, like very bad anxiety actually, and other stuff. And I keep on biting my nails, you know, and they're all ruined. So if I spend money on making my nails pretty, you know, I cover them with semi-gel, then I will not want to buy them because I spent money to make them pretty, right? So maybe it will work. Maybe that's the right technique for not biting my nails. Covers everything that ever was but American guns. Literally some of the country. Well, that's true. I think like the memes about Americans and guns are kinda funny though. Like the memes about Italians and pizza. You know, pineapple pizza. How Italians hate pineapples on pizza. Which is kinda true actually. I haven't met a lot of people that enjoyed pineapple on pizza. The US, it's a beautiful place though. Like all the different states and the different looks of the states, they are fascinating. Also, I love Native Americans' cultures. I was obsessed as a child. I've read a lot of books, and I love their legends and their culture, and I have great great respect. One of my friends, his grandpa was a Native American, and he told me about like legends that his grandpa told to him, and it was very entertaining and interesting to listen to the stories, because each tribe has like different legends and slightly different views about those legends. Like, some creature can be portrayed a bit differently depending on which tribe you ask. Okay, let me scratch the mic while I talk. Homeowners being allowed to have guns may be a problem now, but in the 18th or whatever, they were great for defending against raids from other groups. Could never live there, but maybe visit. Yeah, I think I could probably not live in America, but I would visit. Like, I would love to visit America. It's just the cost is too high for my savings. Yeah, but like, startups are over exaggerations always. Like, if you come to Italy, you won't find a lot of fat men with mustache that make pizza every day, because it's their stereotype. Obviously, I think only stupid people would believe stereotypes. Like, at this point, I think it's pretty obvious that they're not the reflection of the population, but they're still funny, because sometimes you do find the person that embodies the stereotype in all countries, and it's funny as hell, because they're like, ah yes, the true Italian. Bio, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How you doing? Sarah Trueblood, welcome. How are you? Blooding, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. There's still good in most cases, but they're too widely available, let's say. Yeah, like, in some places I think it's too easy to get your hands on a gun. So I'd say, like, if you want to keep guns available, to regulate them a bit better. Because here in Italy, it's much harder to get your hands on a gun than America. Well, you still can get your hands on one, but it does require you to have a million permits and documents. Yes, I'm a vampire. Can't you see the teeth? Doctor, Mama, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Most African stereotypes are true. Maybe do at least once a week. I mean, that's a good stereotype. I would love to meet someone that does BBQ once per week. I'd be there, like, every single BBQ day, on a pickup bucky. Oh, pickups are cool though. And wear brown shorts. I'd say there are lots of stereotypes about Italians that are also true, but I don't know many of them, like, besides us being loud, which is true, absolutely true, and moving our hands lot when we talk. Again, absolutely true. I do that all the time. We are, well, very friendly. If you go to the south, they are more open to strangers than to the north. But you can still get very friendly northern Italians. Embers are allowed on my house. Nice! Let's go! Yesterday I killed the vampire. Well, make sure that their friends aren't hunting you down. You know, we gotta feed too. But I'm an ethical vampire. I only bite people that give me consent. No sus intentions here. Yes, I'm a good vampire. A very good vampire, yes. Do Italians actually do the thing with their hand? Yes, yes we do. It's basically our way of saying like, what the fuck? Like when we do that, the motion is like, the fuck is happening? The fuck are you doing? What the fuck am I looking at? Huh? You know that kind of meaning. Twice, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Do you have a fridge full of blood bags too? Yes, I borrow them from the local hospital. Of course, they do not know, but they don't need to know. They're gonna put a lock on them, and it's already hard to get into the hospital without being noticed, you know. I'm happy that you're doing good. We're here chilling. I read a few chapters of a Lovecraft story. Now we're talking about stereotypes. And if they're true, of at least Italian ones, since I'm Italian. Let's see. Love your model, very cute. Thank you. I drew it. I'll be redebuting with a new model though, drawn by a friend of mine, but I will rig it. This one was rigged by Yoshino Art, a friend of mine. Let me shut her out. She's a great rigger. Kinda want to use the gesture now, and then Italians will do it back. So why the fuck is an English guy doing it? Yeah. It's funny though, because we really do it and we don't even realize it. Like in my case, like something weird happens, I do the gesture because it's ingrained in my blood, in my body at this point. It's like an automatic reaction when something weird happens, you know. We do move our hands a lot. Like if we say something, we like mimic what we're saying with our hands. Hello trainer, I'm doing fine, how are you? Welcome. Okay, let me take something to tap. Pioneer, hello. Sorry, my feels little. I'm sad I can't sleep. Oh no. I hope I'll be able to relax you a bit and help you to go to sleep. I'm very sorry that you're sad, and I hope you'll feel better soon. Remember to drink a lot of water and rest and listen to comfy music and look at puppy pictures. They help a lot. Oh fuck. actually hit my desk twice. Yesterday a friend of mine bite me on the neck. Was it consensual? Canada Rolls, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Oh damn, then you should scold him. No biting without consent. It's not good if you don't consent, you know. Gotta respect the boundaries of people. Even I as a vampire do that. And I kinda get hungry sometimes. And it's hard to resist when you see someone alone in the dark with their neck out. But gotta be respectful, you know. You can't just run up to a random person in the street and bite their neck and go away. You know, that's not fair. Just call me Peter and something reminds. Okay. Peter. That sounds good. I loved the sound of Peter. Such a cute name. Coffee music always makes me feel better when I'm angry. When I'm sad, I'll listen to, well, it depends. It's either super sad music or super upbeat music. Best ASMR trick here is the water globes. You mean when I drink water? Oh, you're from Poland. Nice, I'm from Italy. Swishing inside a bottle. Oh, I can do that. I have a bottle of water here. I see that there are a lot of water enjoyers here. You mustn't wear much to hide our necks simply because we are not used to someone sucking on us to live out of one. I mean, I don't do that. Again, there might be some rude vampires that attack people, but I don't, because I respect the humans. You know, you're my source of food. After all, gotta be respectful. Since you provide me with food, basically. She bites because she told me I was too sweet, and I said no, I'm not. So she bit me and told me I told you I was sweet. I see. It was a love bite then. It's kind of a reassuring sound. Don't say certain things in chat, please. This time I just deleted the message, but next time I will have to suspend you. Other ASMR making me thirsty. Then drink. Stay hydrated, friend. Relaxing. I'm not gonna lie, I usually am not a fan of water sounds, but this one bottle is giving me extra tingles. So I love, let's say that we are like brothers and sisters. I mean, we have the same age but different months of birth. Well, it's still love, you know. There's different kinds of love. I love my sister. It's a sisterly love. I really enjoy her company. We go along super well. But you know, it's still like love. Like the love that your parents give you. It's still love after all, no? I bet that my puppy's sleeping. But just how to get water. Ask your puppy to please get you a bottle of water. And hope that he does that. Just tell me someone and I've waves it. No big deal. Oh, those are the worst. I missed some of my friends too, and when I think about like the good memories I have with them, I become sad as well. But you know, you gotta cherish the memories, even though you might not be able to see your friend, or even if they are crossed this world and entered the other side, you still have fond memories of them. You know, it still hurts, of course, because you're like in certain extreme cases you can't see them again, but you know, you still have fond memories, and that's a good thing. I remember my grandpa smiling, and even though I miss him a lot, I'm still happy that I was able to form good memories with him. Like when we went to the woods and looked for chestnuts and mushrooms together, and I do miss those times. They were simpler time, and my grandpa was still there. But I'm still happy that it happened. I'll give you headpats too. Pat pat, pat pat, pat pat, pat pat, pat pat, pat 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 pat, pat 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 pat, pat 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 pat, pat pat pat, pat pat, pat pat. Pat. There. During my school days, I moved from school to school a bunch of times, and I always make new friends and hate leaving. Yeah, that's so sad when you make friends and you have to leave, and they live in the like far from you. I had a friend that I met as a child, and they lived in a different region of Italy, which was far from where I was, and we're not friends anymore because we could see each other very rarely, and I kinda miss him. It was a good friend, we had a lot in common, but you know, same as before, you still have good memories. That's what matters now. And now that there's the internet, you can keep in contact with people easily. Smiling frog, welcome. VTuber model looks good and simple. Thank you. I will have a new design soon. I've drawn this model, but I will have a debut. So I commissioned a friend. I will do the rigging. There it is. Can you do a flip? You mean like this? Does that count? Am I? Wait. I can see if it's like same position as before. I get. I just. Helicopter. Now that was a flip, guys. That was an amazing flip. I am so good at flipping. Vampire floating makes flipping so easy. Yes, true. I am the champion of flips. As a vampire. You know. What happened? I just have gone to such a quantity points. I've made a flip. It was amazing. Sorry that you missed it. It was a beautiful flip. The most beautiful flip I've ever done. A plus flip. Well, let me get the brush. The big brush. Actually, let me see if I can brush with a small one too. Oh, now you can hear better. So how will be the big brush be? I have no regrets in meeting you, friend. Should the day ever come that we are not together, you will shall let go in my memories. Sit songly. Yeah, that's a good quote. That was flipping amazing. Nice joke. Very good joke. Appreciate it. Funny joke. Actually flipped out. Come on. Okay, too many dead jokes though. Too many in too little time. On the microphone. I hope that I'm doing it right. Not an expert here, but I'm trying. For the 150k Bitcoins is really long. Yeah. Hideyoshi Inakamura, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Brush tingled the spots. Nice. I'm happy to hear that. I love brushing on mics. It's one of my favorite triggers. for a couple of minutes and it's done. But you guys have the biggest, most wrinkled brains that I've ever seen, and I must take good care of them. Gotta smooth out all the wrinkles. No, I'm cleaning them. I don't want you to be smooth-brained as me. Muse the darker musician. Thank you for the follow. That was me just eating my glasses with a brush. Thinking hallucinate you every day. No, must make something to stop this. I will check your brain every day to make sure that you haven't lost brain cells, and I will look for them if you lose them. I will drive around your town and look for your brain cells. My, you're a cute. Thank you. But you're cuter. You're much more cuter than me. Shallow 9190. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? You're all cuties and pretty. My cat, she's here. Hello, Mentina. Oh, cute. Sorry, cat came to say hi. Ashawan, hello. No, you. No, you. You're the cute ones. My cat is looking at me weird. She's wondering what the fuck am I doing with the brush. Oh, you like the brush too? She likes the brush. Yes. No, don't bite it. Don't bite the brush. Now she's eating the brush. My cat is eating my brush. Can you come here? There she is. Cat. That's her doing some ASMR for you. Scratching the microphone. And now she's jumping off of my desk. I wanted her to get close, maybe sniff the mic, do some ASMR for us, but she just hit it with her head and then hit it herself out. Kinda disappointing. It's 2 AM and I have still cleaned the kitchen and finished to paint the other wall on while I still need to make my bed. So I guess you're not the only one with things that needs to be done. I do not like so much of the brushing sound, but this one I like it a lot. I'm glad. It's a weird brush. It's like a really big brush, but it doesn't have a flat point. Like it's actually pointy. The Beatles DS3 reference is about here. Am I correct? It's okay. It made up a funny sentence. My cat disappeared. I think she's like eating in the kitchen or something, because she's a little bit fat. But we love her anyway. She's cute. A little bit stupid, but she's a cute cat. Apologize to you and chat. Maybe we'll spoil the atmosphere of your stream. No, it's okay, don't worry. Oh, that was me hitting my glasses again, sorry. It's okay. spoiling anything. If I can help in some way when people are feeling down, I do it happily. Like giving advices and trying to comfort people. That's all I can do, but I'm happy to do it if you're feeling a little bit happy by staying here and trying to sleep. Like if I can help like that, it's something, you know. And yes, stay hydrated. Did you drink water, Peter? Get some water and the blanket if it's too cold, or like some fresh water. Turn off your lights and relax. Don't think about anything, just relax. And if you're feeling sad, you can imagine me showing you my infinite gallery of pictures of my cat Mentina, because she's very cute and she's a cat, and who doesn't like cats, you know. Drink water now, go with my antibiotics. And you haven't drank another sip since how? And later I'll drink it every 10 minutes. The heat is too much for me to bear. It's too hot outside. Oh. Yes, my cat came back and I don't know what she's doing back there, but she's climbing things and I'm afraid she'll climb in places where she shouldn't. Let me go check on her 1 second, because I'm afraid she will do something that she's not supposed to do. She knows that she's doing something wrong. As soon as I went up to her, she stopped doing whatever she was doing and she looked at me like, "Hi mama, what are you doing here? I am doing nothing. I'm so innocent. Look at me." And as soon as I don't look, she does worse. Wait. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. The little creature. Yeah, you can share something from your life if you want. Trouble cat. Yes, she's very troublesome. She's a little troublemaker. Sus cat. Oh, come on, she's not a sus. She's just a little bit dumb. want videos. I want a list. Okay. Nix, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Cactus. Cat. Sus. Cat. 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 Cactus. Cactus. Cac. Cacua. Cac. Sk 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 sk. Bobcat. You're very smart, Flesh. I hope I won't pass along my footprint to you. That will be a great loss. Somebody here has to remain smart, you know. I wonder, what if I'm doing noises in the mic and my dad wakes up and comes here and stares at me while I'm going in the mic. Can you imagine? Fortunately, I'm in a which I'll not by an accident, but take my life as much as my dear loss, and I'm single. After this change, I will be with someone. You will surely be Peter. And I'm actually surprised to see of how much positive you actually seem. Life must be hard, and I know, I've had some friends, and actually my grandfather was unfortunately strapped to a wheelchair for his latest years, and I know how hard it is to be dependent on others, and let me just tell you that you're very strong, and that I hope that life will give you the best things it can give to you. And you really are strong. And you will surely find someone one day. I'm sure about it. There's always someone somewhere. For anybody. It's just a matter of time. Trust me, you don't look for the right person. You find it accidentally. It's fate. The most special encounters are the ones that you didn't expect. I did not look for my current boyfriend, for example. It just came into my life randomly, and we just we looked at each other and we knew, and I'm sure that will happen to you too, Peter, because because if you find a companion for life, usually it finds you. You don't have to look. Trust me. Mama, I can't save the file. That's for when I'm drawing. Can you look at the camera for a sec? Yeah, I'm looking at the camera. I'm intensely looking at the camera. Is this okay? You're welcome. .07 start 27H. Oh, is it your birthday? Is it in 1 month? Oh, so you're older than me. I'm 23. Stifler's mom, 81. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. If you need help, take it. And it is okay to need help. No one should be mean to someone who needs help. Yes, I agree. Especially like for those people that need the help more than like anybody else. Going to make a poster with it for myself. Ah, nice. A Mogus emoji. That's always funny to see. And yeah, Peter, you can count on us. We're a nice community, so if you need to cheer up a little bit and just talk to somebody, we're all here. I'm trying to stream at least 5 days a week, so you probably find me pretty often, and I don't go outside a lot. So yeah, you're my senpai. Yes. Oh, this is a good time to plug in my Discord. There it is. I'm trying to be a little bit more active. Work is kinda keeping me not checking messages. Actually, I think I have a couple of unread messages. But yeah, I have a Discord if you want to join, and it's like the best way to reach me because I panic when people send me friends requests. But on Discord, on the server, I usually reply to people easily when I have time to check. Peter, thank you so much for the follow, it means a lot. And thank you, Arius Hunter. Welcome to the Vampire Gang, to both of you. Imagine going outside a lot, couldn't be me. Yeah, me neither. I panic when my anxiety was at its worst. I remember like I had to go to Milan for my lessons, my classes from comic school, and I had to take the train, and there were days where my anxiety was so bad I would get full-on panic attacks just because someone sat next to me and I didn't know them. It was not a good situation, but things are a bit better. Now I can make phone calls sometimes. If I have called at that place for at least 10 times before, I can call the ramen restaurant and my hairdresser, and that's it. Those are all the phone calls I can make without panicking. Which channel should I send audios on the Discord? Oh wait, you can. Don't we have a music channel? You can send them to the music Oh no, wait, it's just oh, that's actually a good question. Just put them in the links section for now. No, wait, actually, let me make a text channel. Audio files. Okay. Note emoji. Multiple musical notes, so they're different from like the other channel. Okay. Nice. There it is. Now you can paste them there. I used to have very bad anger issues and lash out, but I felt guilty after and cry, and it used to happen every day. Yeah, I don't have anger issues, thankfully, but I cry a lot, even when I get angry. My response to everything is crying at this point. Then I got diagnosed with Asperger's. I've been diagnosed with OCD, a generalized anxiety disorder, and severe social anxiety disorder. Not several. Yes, a severe anxiety disorder. So like talking to people, it's still super hard for me, and sometimes I get overwhelmed and I forget to reply because I need to like lay down and calm myself down. Ara, is it yours, Ara? I will listen to it after stream before going to sleep. Ara, 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 Ara. Okay. Oh, wait, the background music stopped. Okay, let me put on some. Make it dead higher, just a tiny bit, teeny tiny bit. You know, when you get diagnosed with things, it's also easier to like get help because you know what your problem is, and you can also actually explain to people why you might act a little different from like what's considered quote-unquote normal. Vulcan Invisible, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. When I'm out in public, I need someone to be with me, or it gets super hard for me to like do anything. When I have to ask for to buy like things, I panic super easily, and when I'm out with like my friends or my boyfriend and we have to order food, usually they're the ones that order for me because I usually panic and my voice is super low, so like I order things and then the person taking my order doesn't hear me and they look at me and they're like, sorry, I didn't understand, and then I panic and I'm like, I just wanted a burger, please, and then I like start crying when they're gone because I feel so anxious and embarrassed. It's kinda sad. Thank you for the butt. Appreciate it. some of my symptoms, it's easier to fight them. Not as much to fight my impulses, though, like eating my nails, biting my nails, because I don't actually eat them, but in Italian, biting nails is usually translated also to mangiare le unghie, which means literally eating your nails. But yeah, I have scars actually that I have made on myself because of anxiety. When I'm anxious, I usually have the impulse of either biting my nails or scratching my arm and my shoulder and little pimples that were there, and I scratched certain points on my arms and shoulders so much that they kept on bleeding and they didn't heal properly, and now I have big scars, and I'm looking about 1 centimeter of diameter scars. These ones, I think it's actually bigger. Well, let me check. Yeah, it's 1 centimeter big. Then I have another one that's smaller on the same shoulder. I have a couple on my back, and that's all because of my anxiety. Could have been worse, could have been better. I went to many doctors that say that was ADHD, but the meds weren't working, and then I went to a psychiatrist who specialized in kids. I was 9, and he gave me puzzles to do. I spoke with my mom and came back to the finished puzzle. Apparently, even matric students struggled with the puzzle, so immediately knew I was Asperger's. I've been diagnosed with OCD since I was a little kid. I think I went to elementary school, so I think I was 8, 9, around 9 to when I got diagnosed, because I had some weird behaviors, and my mom got worried and brought me to my current psychologist that diagnosed me. And I've been dealing with OCD for 15 years, give or take, and it's weird, because I don't think about what I do that often, but when I think about my behavior when I am nervous, I can say damn, that's a symptom. That's so weird. The background sound was too high, sorry. But getting help is not a bad thing. I'd much rather get help than not get help and have to live a life full of struggles and not understanding myself, because sometimes I do things and I don't even realize that I've done that, scratching my arm. Oftentimes just catch myself doing it, and it's not on purpose. Cinque, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. Send a lullaby now to sing by me. Oh, I can sing you a lullaby. I will sing you Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. If I find the lyrics, that is. Oh, there it is. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above, the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Wait, let me actually try to sing it. I'll lower the gain a little bit. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above, the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle, all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good night, baby. I hope I sang that well. Not a singer, so I hope that was good. Floating Elsie, thank you for the follow. Gonna cry with the song, just remember me. If the anime you're lying April. Oh, sorry, did I mean to make you cry? My mom sang that lullaby for me when I was a child. The Italian translation. Do you see well in the dark? Yes, Maya, I'm a vampire after all. I see very well in the dark. Very well, thank you. Alright, you my condition, but I don't know how the translation will do it. It's okay, don't worry, Peter. You see your eyes very well in the dark. Yes. Yes, they glow like a predator. Excuse me, lady. You will have to follow me to the police station, cause just now you stole my heart. What? I think you got the wrong person. I don't recall spreading your chest and grabbing your heart directly from it. Sorry, I do very badly with pickup lines, but good attempt. It's a good cry, not a bad one. Ah, yeah, I get emotional too. I get it. I don't have bread with me, just chocolate. Yes, it's enough. Offer, trade offer accepted. Record, because you are perfect. That's a nice one. I can say the R. No, I can't.
know, sleep well. Good night, little cute duck. This is cute boy. No, you're cute, Nino. Don't forget to drink before going to bed. And keep some water near you. Custard, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? Oh, let me drink this water. I have a tissue with me. I will attempt to do some cool wrinkle noises with it. Oh wait, okay. Doing well, how are you? I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. Intense. John to cerebral palsy since I was born. Oh, let me translate that. In Italian. Because I may be kind of fluent in English, but I don't think I'm that fluent to know every. Oh, okay. Paralysis, basically. That seems like an awful thing to have as a child. Very sorry that it happened. But regardless, I hope that life's treating you fairly. Because if it's not treating you fairly, I will punch life itself. Because everybody deserves such a life, you know, despite the difficulties. Hello, Bog. Welcome. You have to sneeze 1 second. I lost the sneeze. I was midway. Dang. My cat is back. Yes, I'm a bit tired. It's 2:38 in the morning. But I wanna get to 3 a.m. Sorry. Oh, my cat seems to have spotted an insect. Gotta keep her eye on the little shit, cause you never know what she will do next. Enemy spotted. Yes, it's my phone. Oh, and I hit myself with the phone. there's nothing wrong with being emotional, you know. As I said, I cry for basically everything. Okay, I was watching a documentary about lizards with my boyfriend, okay, and there was this scene where there was a couple of lizards and one of them died, and the other lizard was like mourning next to their lover's body, basically their companion's body, and she looked so sad, and I actually cried because I felt bad for the lizard. And then there was another scene of another documentary where there was like a little frog, and then a bigger frog came and it ate the smaller frog, and I cried. And I cried because I was sad. And you know, being emotional is not a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. As long as like you're not actually physically hurting anybody, you know, crying a little bit more than others is not a bad thing. Crying is also good, you know. People should cry more. Shows emotion. Showing emotions is important. It just means you empathize more, you know. Greater than a 3-panel manga. Understandable. I cried because I threw my I threw away, instead of throwing like a bit of plastic, I had a spoon and the yogurt vase, the yogurt thingy, the plastic thingy where yogurt gets salt into, you know, the yogurt container, okay, and I threw the yogurt container into my sink and my metal spoon into the trash, and I cried when I realized it. I don't know why, but I cried. Think is even a good thing being emotional. Yeah, it is. Used to be as emotional as a rock because of Asperger's, but I've grown out of it mostly, besides staying. And that's okay too, you know. I'll give you all a big hug. I'll get closer so I can hug you. Come here. Wait, but if I'm hugging it will be more like this. I'm short. Okay, come here. I'll give you a big hug. I'll give you a big hug. 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 Hug you. I'm hugging you. I'll give you a little kiss. Cause you're so nice. Mwah, mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So I will listen this. The thinking hugging you. Yes, I can all hug each other. Because we all have our problems and our struggles. And a hug is always nice. Because we're all super strong. And we all deserve a good hug. You know, hugs are always nice. Come here, hug. You're also great, by the way. Oh, gotta blow my nose 1 second. As I was saying, you're all great, and everybody here, I guess, has gone through a hard period in their life, and that's okay. We're all here for each other. We're a strong community, and we're here to give support to each others. And I'm very happy and proud of you all and of the community I've been able to build. I'm so happy to have met each and every one of you. You're all great, and I love you all. Eduardo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. You came at like a very emotional time. You know, I really do think that each one of you has a big golden heart, and you're also nice and friendly, and I don't think I deserve your love, but it makes me happy. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the beat. It's a little hard. Dude, so cute. Thank you so much. I'll give you a little kiss as a thank you. Yes, I do actually have allergies. I don't know exactly what, but you know those fake tattoos. Okay, so how do I explain this? Okay, in Italy we have this brand of popsicle called Polaretti, and they are like fruit flavored popsicles that have penguins as mascots, and they have like fake tattoos of the mascots that are penguins. Okay, and I love them. I do, but I can't use the fake tattoos because when I did as a kid, I got a reaction like the whole area where I used the tattoo, it became red, it started to itch a lot and to burn a little bit, and we had to wash out the tattoo, and I think I was allergic to probably a component of some of the colored inks, because I can put like fake tattoos if they're all black, you know, those fake tribal tattoos, and I don't have a problem with them, but I think the colored ones, I get a reaction, an allergic reaction out of them. So yeah, I can't wear fake tattoos if they're colored. I had to get a weaker antibiotics right now because I'm allergic to penicillin, which is strongest antibiotic. Oh, that must have sucks. Skin tends to be really sensitive. Yeah. Well, I guess everybody's, yeah. I don't know if I'm allergic to anything else, if I have to be honest with you. I never took tests. You know, the one where they put all of, like, a lot of different things on your arm and they see what you might be allergic to. Never took those tests. Either the emotions will trigger things. Also, if I'm stung by bee. Oh, dang, that sucks. Thankfully, I'm not allergic to bees, because I think I would be dead at this point, since I got stung by like bees and wasps a lot as a child. An awful lot. Not because I like actually bothered the insects, but because I kept on like interacting with them by accident. Like, I remember there was a wasp on like on one of my bowls in the garden when I was a child, and I wanted to play with the ball, and I just picked it up and then didn't see the wasp, and so it stung me on my hand. Zero, bruh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Vampire Gang. How are you? I'm allergic to bad people. Yeah, fair. example, like Black Widows, one biting, you're gone. I am glad I don't live in Australia, now that I think about it. Imagine how many dangerous animals there are in Australia, and how clumsy I am. I would be dead by now. Set it up gear reference. The episode where they blew up the car on top of the skyscraper. I've never seen that episode. Think you just got off work. How are you? Nice, I'm happy that you're doing good. I'm a bit tired. I have 10 more minutes of life and then I'll go to bed myself because it will be 3 in the morning at this point. But you know, good quality ASMR means I have to stay up late, and I'm fine with that. Thank you for reminding me to drink and stretch. I will. I forgot to mute. Oops. Spiders are dangerous, though, like for real. Gotta be careful. I picked up a venomous spider once. It's like, it was called, I think, violin spider. No, wait, I don't think that was, but it was a white spider, like a sort of whitish, pale looking spider. And I wanted to, like, I took it in my hand and I put it outside my windows, and then I closed the windows and I was like, okay, Spidey boy, you're safe. And then I was curious to see which spider that was, because it was a kind of big spider, and I discovered it was venomous, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't have touched it with my bare hands, but it didn't bite me, so I'm fine. Black Widow is also in South Italy. What do you mean with that? Ariarest, welcome. Welcome, how are you? Do you mean the black spider is also in it? No, you're lying. Black Widow. No, wait. What? What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? Wait, no. Devo salvare maniera l'altro Dectus 13. What kind of name is that? 13 red spots. Okay. Oh, heck. Oh, hot climate. Well, thanks God it's not in my region. I would have been extremely paranoid. I am glad. I'm glad. I will probably never meet one in my life. But that was beaten by Black Widow and survived, so now he's scared of every spider. Damn. I would be scared too, honestly. I stay up late anymore unless I sip on an energy drink. My sleep schedule is fucked up. So I usually stay up morning. I have spider's bites, but I never seen or felt one bite me. I never get bitten by a spider, as far as I know. It's a spider like that in my house, it probably burned my house down. Yeah, that's fair, me too. Like, if it's a black widow, I'm not risking it. A double spider that carries its babies. The man killed it and thousands of babies ran around like ants, so my dad was freaking the fuck out while my mom killed them. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I don't want to laugh at that. Because my mom is arachnophobic. And it would be hell, probably, if I was in this situation. Because I know how, like, your dad felt. Because my mom goes crazy if she sees a spider. She's scared as hell. But I can't help it. I'm just imagining the scene. It's so funny. Birds are singing. Nice. Our night birds are. No, it wasn't the wolf spider. It's. Oh wait, the one that I took in my hands, and I shouldn't have taken in my hands, was okay. I got the name of spiders. I think it was this one. I'm not showing you the stream, don't worry. But if somebody's interested, maybe no. Wait. Okay, I'll just search a white poisonous spider. Was it this one? Wait. Oh no, yeah. It was a violin spider. In Italian it's called ragno violino, which means violin spider. Yes, it was that one, okay. Because it was pale. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was that one. Can you open softer sounds for background? Sure. For the last couple of minutes, though, because after like a couple of minutes I'll have to go. There it is. Some soft rain. Yeah, violin better. I am surprised. It didn't beat me, actually. Maybe it understood that I was trying to position it in a safe place that was in my house, where my mom could have asked my dad to kill it, you know. Spiders, I don't mind them. Like, personally, I'm indifferent. I like them, kind of. I think they're sort of cute. They're a bit intimidating, not gonna lie, but they're kinda cute. I don't like insects, on the other hand. Like, centipedes terrifies me. Bug bats terrifies me. I hate most insects, actually. Heard of tarantulas that catch fish. Some catch birds, so they catch rats. Quite cool. Yes, they do. I've seen tarantulas up close. A friend of my dad used to keep spiders. Like, he likes spiders a lot, and he kept them like he was a professional spider owner, I would say. And he had a lot of tarantulas, and he showed it to me as a kid, and they were very fascinating. I have actually, when his tarantulas died and his big spiders died, he preserved them, and he gave like a big female spiders to us, and it's like 10 centimeters long at least. Wait, actually more. I think it was like 15, 20 centimeters big spider. And I have the endoskeleton, the exoskeleton, or whatever it's called. You know, the outside skeleton of that spider somewhere still. Yeah, smaller spiders are more dangerous because of the venom. My PC, yes, I am streaming with my PC, so it has to be on. Oh, you get bitten by mosquitoes too. I hate them so much. I think my blood tastes very good because I keep getting bitten by those little shitty insects, you know. I hate them so much. Okay. Lelitia, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. Very sorry you arrived a little bit late because I am actually about to go. It's 3 in the morning for me, so I think I'll go get some sleep. Can you come? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the member gang. You'll probably catch me tomorrow as well with ASMR, so don't worry. Scorpions will be closer and venomous and have small stinkers. Scorpions with small, closer venomous and have big stinkers. Okay, let me see who's streaming ASMR so I can drop you to some other ASMR artist. ASMR artist. Let's see. Okay. Nasu Aizuru. Okay. I love their model. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, let's rate them. They're doing a collab. Varied vampires in chat. Okay. If you stream tomorrow doing gonna sub. Yes, I am here most of the times. And I will most certainly stream tomorrow too. I don't understand that I fall asleep on ASMR heartbeat. That means I need closeness. Nah, triggers are just triggers. I think it's very comforting though to hear a heartbeat. I like it too. I just don't have like the right setup to do heartbeat. Maybe next stream I'll try though. Can try it. Okay. Here is the read message that you can comment. Lady said the 9999. Thank you for the follow. Very sorry. Very political. It came at the right at the end. The rating. Okay. I linked it earlier, but here's my Discord if you want to join. And here are all my other socials. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and I hope that you're relaxed and ready to go to sleep. Thank you. Oh, Kisara, welcome. I'm very sorry we're going reading someone. Welcome, readers. I'm very sorry. I'm Hanzo, Vampire Queen. I muscle to ASMR now, but also to art. Oh, get. She came to say hi to our rating. Very sorry. I love you all too. Thank you for the read again. And let's go.